Now, what you mentioned a UFO conference. What is your take on the whole UFO situation? Let me tell you first what mine is. I think that there's always the possibility that there's life on other planets, all that kind of stuff, you know. But
oh yes,
when it comes, but when it comes down to it, I think it's more or less usually unprovable, and it's often used as a red herring, as you know, to lure people away from the real conspiracies. What's your take on that?
Well, I don't think there's a conspiracy to it, because if you have life forms on other planets, and they're there. It doesn't take any conspiracy to conceive something that already exists. So, and in fact, I think communication between the planets has been on a very limited orbit so far. But that will probably improve in future years.
Mm-hmm. And what about, now that we're on that topic, what about the moon landing?
About what?
Was the moon landing real?
Oh, the moon landing. Well, that was exposed years ago because all the shadows in the filming were pointed the wrong way.
Yeah. So what do you think about all that? Were you blown away to find out that it was fake, or did you just figure it?
Well, I think it was an industrial production, an industrial operation. I don't think it had anything to do with landing on the moon at all. And,
yeah.
It was show business is all it was.
Yeah. Now, have you met David Icke?
Oh yes, I've lectured with David Icke for years.
Have you?
In fact, David and I were in Canada a couple of years ago, and so they tried to deport both of us, and David was very upset. He said it was because I was more controversial than he was, and that they were actually after me, but he was going to be deported too, and I haven't seen David since then.
Oh, really? Because is he? I mean, I'm not intending to insult you at all, but is he afraid to be associated with you because you are more controversial?
Well, I think so, and David is more interested in expanding his operations and so forth, so he feels that would be a definite limitation at that time.
Yeah.
Because there's no question that's been very controversial.
Yeah. Personally, I enjoy watching David Icke. He's entertaining.
Oh yes, he's very good.
But but you know, sometimes I wonder if he's like, you know, if he's working for the government or whatever. What do you think? Do you think he's working for the government?
Oh, I really don't know. I would say he probably has a connection with the British Secret Service, if he has anything. I don't think he has a connection with any American operation, because the American operations are very amateurish. You know, the whole Central Intelligence Agency was created by the British General Staff in 1944. And Charles Hambro, the Jewish banker, and Lord Mountbatten, and 3 other members of the Imperial General Staff created the OSS, which was later became the CIA. So we actually have never had our own intelligence operation. It's just a branch of the British Secret Service.
Oh, really? So the British Secret Service would have more sophisticated ways of dealing with culture creation, culture manipulation, that would be in the realm of art, so to speak, so that David Icke, you know, doing what he does, talking the way he does,
you can get a lot of people to work for you with an operation like that. The thing is that the British Secret Service is the premier intelligence agency of the world, because it was created after the Bank of England was created in 1694. Well, they set up British Secret Service as the intelligence agency of the Bank of England shortly after that. So it's hundreds of years older than any other intelligence service in the world.
Okay, so all respect due to David Icke, let's say hypothetically he were working for the British Secret Service. What would be his role and you know, his purpose? Well,
his role would be that of an advisor and a consultant, rather than carrying out actual operations. Because what they're looking for is consultants who can help them plan operations and that sort of thing. In other words, he wouldn't be a James Bond floating around the world shooting at agents and so forth.
But in his role as a propagandist, how do you think that is his role? I mean, that's what I'm saying.
I would know that was his role or not. But he's done some rather odd things, like he put out all these stories about shape-shifting, about Queen Elizabeth and the British royal family shape-shifting and so forth. And I think there has been some of that in the family. The family has some legends about that, and it probably has happened in the past. So it's just something that you have to deal with.
Oh, really? So you believe that there is a possibility that there is shape-shifting in the royal family and that it might be real?
Oh, yes.
Really?
Well, Ezra Pound told me once that he was staying on the Riviera back in the 1930s, and he was going from his room downstairs, and this it was sort of dark in the halls there. It was a hotel in France. And he said someone bounded past him on all fours, and he continued down the hall and staying on all fours. And so he said, "What in the heck was that?" They said, "Oh, that's just Eddie."
Oh my God! That's just, what did they say? That's just Eddie?
Pardon?
What did they say?
Oh, well, the Duke of Windsor was known to run up and down the halls at night on all fours. He liked to bound on all fours.
You're kidding.
Oh, no.
Who? Is that Prince Philip? Sorry, pardon my lack of knowledge about the royal family. Is that Prince Philip?
No, this was Duke of Windsor.
Duke of Windsor. Okay, I'm not sure who that is.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's great.
So apparently that was well known among the inhabitants of the Riviera at that time, because he was there quite a lot. And so they took it as a matter of course. It wasn't anything extraordinary. But you have little eccentricities like that among all the royal families of Europe. George Sylvester Viereck was the illegitimate grandson of Kaiser Wilhelm I, and he was quite a peculiar character himself. I used to accuse Viereck of causing Germany to lose both World War I and World War II, and he was really rather flattered when I told him that, because he had never thought of it before. I think it's a good case to be made for it.
Now, have you yourself ever had any sort of occult experience or seen an occult ritual or heard of anything?
No, I have not. Because, you see, I'm a very faithful servant of Jesus Christ, and Jesus Christ says in Matthew 27, he says, "I am always with you." And if Christ is always with you, you're protected against a lot of things like that. So my occult experiences have been very limited.
Oh, really? What have you had any or heard of anything firsthand?
Well, no, my mother and my sister, I took care of them until they passed away, and I'm still living in the same house they were in because they were very well cared for. They died very peacefully, so they still occupy the house, but I have no problem with them whatsoever.
Oh, really? Do you feel them, or do you see them, or no?
No, I never see them myself, but other people have come in, and they tell me my mother's standing up at the hall landing on the upstairs.
Really?
Oh, yes. So other people have seen her, but I've never seen her myself, because I have her portrait, which was done when she was 19 years old, and I occasionally consult with that portrait, but I don't see her around the house at all.
But obviously she's a benevolent presence, not a bad presence.
Oh, it's a benevolent presence. There's no doubt it's a benevolent presence, because she had a very happy life here.
Oh, that's nice. And you're in Virginia, are you?
You're in Virginia.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of the old houses in Virginia have ghosts, but that's because there was tragedies there. There were poisonings and murders and things like that. And when those things happen, people tend to hang around for a while.
Yeah.
But nothing like that ever happened here, and so it's very quite peaceful.